What actually makes you happy? A cup of coffee? A lazy Sunday afternoon? Finally scoring that front row parking spot at the grocery store? Hi, I'm Dr. Stan Steindl, and welcome to Compassion in a T-shirt, where we explore how compassion can unlock true happiness and help us flourish, creating a life rich with meaning and connection. Because we think we know what happiness feels like. But do we really understand what it is? Today, in honour of International Day of Happiness, we're diving into what science and a little wisdom has to say about true happiness. And here's a spoiler. Compassion has a much bigger role to play than you might think. We'll start with what happiness actually is, thanks to the work of Sonja Lyubomirsky. Then we'll bust some myths about happiness that might be holding you back. After that, we'll dive into a powerful framework for flourishing, developed by researchers at the Greater Good Science Centre at UC Berkeley. Connection, positivity, and resilience. And we'll wrap up with some practical tips you can start using today. Let's dive in. In her 2007 book, The How of Happiness, Sonja Lyubomirsky, one of the pioneers of positive psychology, describes happiness as the experience of joy, contentment, or positive well-being, combined with a sense that one's life is good, meaningful, and worthwhile. Researchers often measure happiness through what's called subjective well-being, and it breaks down into three parts. First, think about your overall life satisfaction. How content are you with your life as a whole? Then consider your emotional balance. Do the good feelings outweigh the tough ones? And finally, ask yourself this. Does your life feel meaningful? Do your actions and experience give you a sense of purpose? And here's some fun facts from Lyubomirsky's research. About 50% of our happiness comes from genetics, our so-called set point. Only 10% comes from life circumstances like your job, where you live, or how much money you make. The remaining 40%, that's where the magic happens. That's where you come in with your daily actions, choices, and yes, your capacity for compassion. In her next book from 2013, The Myths of Happiness, Lyubomirsky challenges some of the biggest misconceptions we have about what should make us happy. Things like, I'll be happy when I get that promotion, meet the perfect partner, or buy my dream home. Here's the thing. Those achievements do bring joy, but it's often short-lived. That's thanks to something called hedonic adaptation. We get used to new circumstances quickly, and our happiness returns to baseline. From a compassion-focused therapy perspective, we might understand this through the lens of the drive system, that part of us that is wired to want, pursue, and achieve. Evolutionarily, the drive system's job is to motivate us to acquire vital resources like food and shelter. But hedonic adaptation plays a role here too, pushing us to keep striving, to seek the next meal and the one after that. We couldn't go out, catch one meal, and then rest on our laurels. We had to go out the next day and the next. But the drive system can become relentless, leaving us constantly chasing without ever truly feeling satisfied. So, if happiness isn't about constantly chasing the next big thing, where does it come from? You guessed it. It's about nurturing how we relate to ourselves and others, moment by moment. And that brings us to a powerful framework for flourishing. Researchers Eckman and Emiliana Simon-Thomas from the Greater Good Science Centre at UC Berkeley offer a framework for human flourishing based on three essential pillars: connection, positivity, and resilience, or CPR for short. Let's explore how these three elements breathe life into happiness. At the heart of happiness is connection, the meaningful bonds we form with others. According to Eckman and Simon-Thomas, fostering connection through compassion and empathy is essential for human flourishing. They emphasize that genuine relationships built on mutual care and understanding not only boost our happiness, but also strengthen our overall well-being. Matthieu Ricard, often called the happiest man in the world, writes in his book Happiness, a guide to developing life's most important skills, Authentic happiness is not linked to an ego-centered attitude, but to an altruistic love and compassion that brings us closer to others. When we practice compassion and build strong social ties, we create mutual support systems that boost both our happiness and the happiness of those around us. It's no surprise that research shows acts of kindness and compassion can significantly increase our sense of well-being. The next pillar, positivity, draws on insights from Eckman and Simon Thomas, who highlight how cultivating positive emotions can strengthen our sense of connection to others and foster a more compassionate, empathic way of being. Their work suggests that positivity not only uplifts our mood, but also deepens our relationships and enhances our overall sense of flourishing. They draw on the work of Barbara Fredrickson and her broaden and build theory. She found that positive emotions expand our awareness, helping us build resources like resilience, creativity, and social connections. Positive emotions don't just feel good in the moment. They also help us grow and thrive by broadening our mindset, encouraging exploration, and fostering new skills and relationships. Over time, this creates an upward spiral where experiencing positivity leads to greater well-being and the ability to handle challenges more effectively. Think of it as a ripple effect. Joy and gratitude open us up, making us more willing to try new things, connect with others, and strengthen our emotional resilience. And then there's resilience, our ability to bounce back from life's inevitable challenges. Eckman and Simon Thomas highlight that resilience is not just about enduring hardships, but also about how we respond with flexibility, compassion, and a sense of meaning. They suggest that cultivating self-compassion during tough times helps us develop emotional resources that allow us to recover more effectively and grow through adversity. Chris Irons, in his book The Compassionate Mind Approach to Difficult Emotions, reminds us self-compassion allows us to approach our difficult emotions with care and courage, creating space for healing and growth. When we treat ourselves with kindness during tough times, we build emotional strength and recover faster from setbacks. Compassion isn't weakness, it's courage in action. And this wouldn't be complete without a little timeless wisdom from the Dalai Lama himself. If you want others to be happy, practice compassion. If you want to be happy, practice compassion. It's simple and profound, and science backs it up. Compassion fuels connection, sparks positivity, and builds resilience. It's a full circle recipe for happiness and flourishing. So how can you start cultivating happiness and compassion today? Drawing on the work of Rick Hansen, we know that our brains are wired to focus on the negative, an evolutionary mechanism designed to keep us safe. But the good news is we can train our brains to take in the good by deliberately focusing on positive experiences. When we pause to savor good moments, we help our brains build new neural pathways that foster resilience and well-being. Here are 5 quick, research-backed tips to get you going. First, start by practicing gratitude. Each day, take a moment to reflect on 3 things you're grateful for. This simple habit can help shift your focus towards the positives in your life. Second, try doing something compassionate, whether it's offering kindness to someone else or showing yourself a little care and understanding. It could be as simple as lending a hand or speaking to yourself with gentleness during a challenging moment. Third, take time to savor those positive experiences too. Pause, absorb, and really feel the joy in those small, meaningful moments. Fourth, strengthening your connections is also key. Reach out to someone you care about, share a kind word, or simply spend some quality time together. And fifth, embrace self-compassion. When you're facing a tough moment, speak to yourself as if you would to a dear friend, with kindness and understanding. These small, intentional actions can help cultivate happiness, deepen your sense of compassion, and help you flourish every day. So what's the secret to happiness? It's not about constantly chasing the next big thing. It's about nurturing connection, fostering positivity, and building resilience through compassion. And the best part? You can start right now. On this International Day of Happiness, what's one compassionate action you could take for yourself or someone else? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And hey, if this episode brought you even a little joy, hit that like button, subscribe, and share it with someone who could use a little happiness boost today. Until next time, take care of yourself and each other.